Hey family, what up? It's your girl Jaleesa. I just want to come on and, share some downloads, some crown loads that came about. Um, Again, I don't know if I have a whole 15 minutes. I'm going to try to play around with that today to see. Let me close this door 1 second. Okay, so I'm back. Um, so yeah, there's a couple of things personally that I want to get out, and hopefully that helps others alike. Um, and then again, depend on if I can go past 15 and how many videos I can upload in a day, because this channel is new. um, will determine how many videos I bang out or whatever. But I did want to come on here first and foremost and say, thank you even to the karmics who come across this page and my other pages. But those have been banded because, again, I'm in the Truman 2.0 show, the Jaleesa edition, the Queen Isis edition. If you don't know who Queen Isis is, she was a goddess from the ancient Egyptian time period. Um, she's a queen of many trades. Um, she's really known for mothering, nurturing, um, healing, magic, good magic to help people, not bad magic, and stuff like that. And, you know, as above, so below, I didn't realize, I wasn't familiar with spirituality and stuff like that. And that's going to kind of tie into all the videos. I don't want this page to just strictly be about spirituality, but for the moment and stuff like that, that's going to be my focus point, because your girl's going through it and I need documentation. And I want to give a shout out to the karmic, who, which is always going to happen, so I don't care. But you just have to watch out who you mess with. You really don't know who's who. And I decided to make an example out of a commenter who was like, "Oh, it's not it's your fault. You're poor," or something like that. Huh? Kisa? Kuze? What? What are you saying? Like, that doesn't even make sense. But we just know that that's a troll, somebody who's ignorant, and they'll reap their karma. So it's okay. I already put it out to the atmosphere. And whatever happens to them and their family, that's what happens. And I don't have to say anything, negative. I actually commented on the video that they, said it to, but people don't know who's who. And words are curses. If I sit there and I say you're ugly, you're broke, this and that, you're not gonna be shit, whatever the case may be, that's speaking a curse over you. So, you know, to that person, which I looked at their page and they're doxing people, like they're literally going on Google, like the Sky Google, whatever, and zooming in on people's houses and putting people's information, which is doxing or whatever. So I can't wait for the FBI to tap into your stuff and see who you are and get you arrested, because that's illegal. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it. And that brings me to my landlords. Now, I seen a post that was like, don't even mention people's names, although I have in my other videos, but don't even mention people's names because there's negativity, there's dark energy attached to their name. And I never really realized that and looked at it like that. You can mention somebody's name and get happy. You can mention somebody's name and sink, if that makes sense. Like you just get that pit in your stomach. Your heart is just all, whoa. Mention somebody good who brings light and positivity to you, and you're just filled, you're just nourished or whatever. So, disclaimer, my house is wiretapped and illegally surveillanced. I did not give any consent. My two landlords and High Point Organization and my karmic familiar unit, the Smalls, and my karmic baby father, are all a part of it. This is um, a live feed online, 25/8, across the country, across the globe, the whole world, is literally seeing my children and I being exposed online. But um, I wanted to sit there and say in this video that no matter what you're going through, good or bad, but I kind of want to focus on the bad a little bit. You may think that nobody's in your corner, but there are. There are more people in your corner than there are more people against you. And in the moment, it may not feel like I'm getting goosebumps. In the moment, it may feel like there's nobody for you, but I'm telling you, it only takes one good person to hear your story and help your story. Now, I know people say, oh, you have to do it all on your own or whatever. Yes, to a certain degree, we do have to do it on our own, but there is a team behind us. Whether it's your spiritual team, your ancestors, the archangels, God, the Most High, the divine creator, whomever you subscribe to of the highest white light, not the devil. And even if you do subscribe to the devil, just be careful, because if you read that fine print, it says it comes to collect souls and everything with it. So even if you sign your soul over to the devil, your children's souls are now signed over to the devil just because of your mess up. Um, and then there's a lot of people who, because they like the material gain, the glitz, the glam, the wealth, the high society lifestyle, that they'll sit there and sign on with the devil. And the devil does not come in a red cape and red horns. Like I keep saying, the devil's going to come in everything that you want. It's going to come in that house or that apartment, that condo, that dwelling that you're like, oh, yes, Lord, this is for me. But it may not be, you know? And I don't want anybody, I don't want to fear monger anybody who's in the process of doing certain things. And then you're going to have a double mind like, oh my gosh, is this of God? Is this of the devil? No, 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 no. You know, if God brought you to it, he'll bring you through it, and we really have to walk by faith and not by sight. And that's something that at one point, now I don't, but at one point I was like, my younger days, I was like, God's not real. Like, there's no man coming down. And it's not even like that in that aspect. It's within yourself, Um, I lost my train of thought real quick. Um, I was thinking God wasn't hearing me. Thank you, universe. I was thinking that God wasn't hearing me all the while I wasn't hearing God. And that's another point that I want to bring in, is that people who have conversations with their ancestors, or with the Galactic Confederation, or with God. Like, everybody has conversations with themselves. You're in the kitchen cooking. Oh man, I gotta do this. Oh man, I gotta do that. Oh wait, I forgot to run to the post office. We have conversations, and nobody deems that as crazy, right? But then when you sit there and say, I just had a conversation with God. I just had a conversation with Archangel Michael. I just had a conversation with aliens, with the Galactic Confederation, and salute to them too. People will be like, oh my gosh, we need to put you in a mental asylum. And it's like, for what? Why? And then when you go deeper, you realize that these people are into dark arts. They're summoning, like they're conjuring up demons to make people's life a living hell. Hence, that's what's going on with me. Um, you know, I am in Massachusetts. I'm 32 years old. I really didn't know what was going on. I really didn't. But every time certain situations play out in my life, so for example, the second floor, him and his wife, they play with dark magic. They're associated to the small family. And then the landlords, they're associated to the small family as well. And my karmic baby father was over here Thursday, had a he didn't have a situation, but the second floor woman, Shamika, the wife of the renter, because she's not even on the lease, but I digress, because she's hiding out from the feds. But anyway, um, she had made a comment to him like, oh, go up to the witch, go upstairs to your witch. Now, we have no history with each other, no communication, no nothing. So for you to make an accusation like that, for everything that's been going on, people have, been giving keys, illegal access to my household. People have tampered with my food, with my drinks, stolen underwears of mine to do witchcraft and stuff. Like, and all of us, every which way you look at it, all of us are being recorded and followed by the feds. Little did I know that, but we're all being followed by the feds. So if I'm being followed and you're being followed and everything's playing out the way it plays out, what makes you think that your dirty hands, your bloody hands aren't going to get caught up? And I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. But if I'm not fighting fire with fire, what does that just show the world? You know? And I want to bring it back to my karmic kid's father, Kins, and our former co-worker, Watson. I know I'm not supposed to mention certain names. People going to be like, you're not supposed to mention certain names. All those other names I've mentioned before, but for this video and for people who haven't watched my other videos, I just want to make aware that watch out with these people who abuse their power. If you feel like in any organization, any environment that even if it's just the cashier, they're abusing their power. If it's the manager, they're abusing their power. If it's the CEO, they're abusing their power. If they have a title, badge, they can abuse their power, and they do. So don't be afraid to speak up. We're in, people call it New Earth, but it's reality. It's real Earth. Like, the rosy glasses are no longer on people anymore. You know, people are really waking up and seeing what's what. People are really seeing that my partner doesn't love me nor appreciate me. My parents don't love nor appreciate me. My family doesn't love or appreciate me. These organizations are just using me. And that was one of my notes. Um, be alert of these organizations, um, you know, these networks, these secret societies, churches, not everybody is bad, but I will let you know now that prior to today, because from what I've been working up and today, a lot of things are going to be changing. And I don't need to prove it to anybody. I know what I know. Thank goodness that I have these gifts and these talents and stuff. You guys can see what's going on in the news. I'm not really into the news. I just see what's popping up on my phone. And on a day-to-day basis, I say something or I do something, and then there's a complete turnaround. Hence with the government. Again, I'm not into politics. I'm not that versatile when it comes, so I don't want to speak on things that I do not know. Um, but the government has everybody in an uproar. Everybody, this whole entire year, was worried about their stability, their job, their livelihood. You got people who are worried about SNAP benefits and stuff like that. Like I always say, everything goes up but a paycheck, and it's really sad when you're already going through life on your own. Then financial crisis hits, and then it's like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do then? Talk to God, talk to the divine creator. He will never leave you nor forsaken you. It's only us who leave him and we've forsaken him, and then we shun him when things don't go our way or when we don't see progress. We're like, oh, God, God, God. And no, what about the devil? Like sometimes people give the devil too much credit. Oh, that was witchcraft. Oh, that was the devil. No, what if it was God though? What if it was God? God's a man of chess, not checkers. God's a man of chess, not goldfish. God's a man that lean on him. Literally, lean on him. Don't lean on your own understanding. And I don't even like to say understand, because you're under, and you're not under, you're over. You have that inner standing. You know what's what. So I say that to say, let me bring it back. As far as Kins and Watson go, back in 2019, but 2020-ish, I want to say, um, Kins and I ended up working for a gas station called Seasons Corner Market. And it was fine in the Cape, but then we transferred over to Randolph due to family. And I use that term lightly. And come to find out, Watson, because he did become an assistant manager, but through manipulation, through black magic. And then my karmic familiar unit, my uncle Derek, use that term lightly too, had came and wants to act like we're family and this and that, but it was all a facade. And then Watson thought, oh, it would be a good idea to go to Haiti, do voodoo, and try to manipulate his way up the ranks as far as becoming a manager, an assistant manager. And when Kins Watson and I were friends, we all bigged each other up. Like, whoever gets the promotion gets the promotion. Like, we're all good candidates. But to go behind the scenes, both of them, and do manipulation magic, chaos magic, black magic, doing voodoo, that's a big no-no. And also, Watson had illegally given up my social, my birth, my date of birth, all the information that you need to fill out an application, and then when the I-9, the W-2, all that. He gave all my personal information up to Derek, my karmic uncle, who in return, all of them, because my aunt Carol use that term loosely, is a notary public and a constable, so she was able to manipulate people and get them on her side at a fair. 15 on the timer, I'll be back.